Okay.
I'll call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Barton Cleary,
Here.
Larry Watson,
Here.
Billy Cloud.
Yes. Here.
He's here for us.
I was here for him. Item number 3 is discuss and consider signing a disaster proclamation for Haskell County due to severe winter storm, and I'll let Tim or
You can start it
Chris
and we
either
can go.
one.
Well, what we have approximately a third of the county is without water, and we may be looking at more of that before this week's over. Talked to Joe Harmon this morning, and he's not going to be able to get water before Friday. Hopefully they'll be able to get water back to these areas sometime Friday. That's not a guarantee. That's just our best case scenario. I've put in a request for public assistance through the state. We're looking at getting several pallets of bottled water through them. Again, that's probably going to be Friday, maybe tomorrow. The Choctaws, have been in contact with them. The Choctaws are trying to get us some water, and hopefully that will be here either this afternoon or tomorrow. Kevin Enlow from McAllister, talked to him. He's the emergency management director over there at Pittsburgh County, and they're not having a lot of water problems. So whatever the Choctaws were going to donate to them, he contacted them and said, go ahead and give that to us. So we're looking at late today, sometime tomorrow, 3 to 4 pallets of water. We're planning on setting up distribution points at fire stations around the county in places that need it, such as Tomahawk, Keota, possibly McCurtain, and even maybe Leakwire. We've been looking for water buffaloes. They have some at Pittsburgh County, but the last time I talked to Kevin down there, they are having some water issues over at Longtown, and probably going to have to use theirs there. I know Tim's been looking for some places where we could purchase one, but and what that is a big tank on a trailer that we can provide water to people with. The other thing that we're looking at is getting non-potable water in some of our fire trucks with tanks on them that we could stage at these fire stations. People can come and get buckets or tanks or whatever of water and have water to flush the toilets and other
If somebody
basic
needs
necessities.
water, they can flush their toilets, have them holler. I've got a good well over there around Garland.
What's that?
I've got a good well at Garland. If they need water to flush their toilets or something like that,
Okay.
just have them get a hold of it.
What we've discussed, commissioners, is we've so first of all, let's back this train up just a little bit. On Monday, when we started knowing this was going to get bad, Chris put in for requests from the state at that point.
Right.
We were denied at that point. Well, we weren't denied.
They didn't have the resources.
Yeah. So
we were put off, basically.
yeah. So yesterday when we started losing water Monday. What is today? Thursday? Wednesday?
Wednesday. Yeah.
So we started losing water Monday on the west end of the county. I make a phone call to Chris. We say, hey, we need some water. See what we can do to get water. We're told at that time that no, basically we're put off. We don't have the resources. And that's by our Southeast Region OEM, the emergency manager for Southeast Region of Oklahoma.
Right.
So yesterday, again, I said, hey, let's get on this thing. Let's get some water. Well, first of all, Chris calls Walmart, and Walmart donates us 2 pallets of water.
Right.
And those 2 pallets are sitting at the office, and we gave something to when people call. We say come get one, and we're only giving 1 case per family right now because we can't just give everybody all the water out there for just one family. So we move forward to Tuesday. We make that request again. Basically said no, that's not our responsibility. It's not our responsibility to provide.
They did put in the request through WebEOC for bottled water. They basically told me it's going to be Friday before they can.
And told us it's not their responsibility.
Yeah, they did say
it's the responsibility of Haskell County Rural Water to get the water. Well,
right.
There's no water to get. That's why we're calling. And the problem that where I expressed to Chris is the problem is that we're not talking about a small section of our county that's without water.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about from Highway 82 and 31, 82 South and 31, everything east of that point, and we're talking about everything from about Charlie's Chicken and Stigler east of there, north and south,
Right.
is out of water. And the reason being is because the city of Stigler's water plant sells to Haskell County. I mean, this I've learned so much about water. It's goofy, but they sell to Haskell County on this end, just like Haskell County sells to folks on the west side. Well, Haskell County is able to produce water. The problems that they're having right now is they're having to get pumps because they know that they have some lines that are broken or they have some lines that are broken. But what they're doing is they're able to pump water hard enough to get through that broken spot until we can get this ground where they can see what they've got. So everywhere they're able to get water, they've been able to get water restored to, except if a pipe is frozen and they can't find that. And they're hoping that the pressure and the temperature of the water will help thaw that out, because now they're back to running. But they're talking about as early as Friday being able to restore water to those folks on that end. Is where I said, hey, that becomes an emergency, because it's not where, and I can give two craps less if it's one of us trying to get water. Man, we can go out and get water, but we've got elderly folks, people who have major problems that need water, that can't go outside and melt snow, or can't go outside to get their water. So that's where we've come together, and we're doing everything we can. If I can find one of those water trailers, I'm buying it. I mean, if I can find one, I'm buying it. And what this does is, I mean, I'll be honest, they're $16,000, $17,000. But what this meeting does is it limits that, where we have to normally anything 15,000 over, you say you got to go out for bids to buy it. Well, if you have an emergency like this and we find one of those water buffaloes that will suffice and we could pull, that's the other side, is trying to find something that can, I mean, you got to have something big enough to pull 1,500 gallons of water with. Some of these tanks have baffles in them. I don't think we can get one. I mean, like I said, I've called 2 different places, and they're trying to find us one. But I don't know. So basically, when we declare the state of emergency or county of emergency, we get that back to emergency management. It helps put us in for anything that the governor sends down.
Right.
Plus, like Chris and I have talked about, it's where we now need you guys to start saying, okay, I got this damage, I got this damage, I got this damage. Because within the next couple of weeks, we're going to need to know how much damage is out there. Because if we can show $6 million within the state,
Right.
we can ask for FEMA money, and we know there's going to be over that much damage. So if you guys have a bridge that's washed out, if you guys have a road, now's the time to start saying, hey, we got this damage, and get it to Chris so we can get that turned in.
And you can't, I know you can't go out and look at roads that are covered in snow and say, well, this is what this is going to do. But you guys have done this enough that you know I'm going to have problems with this road. I've had problems with the rain. Snow's going to be worse. If you can get a good estimate on what you may be looking at, and I know that that's working.
It's going to be hard to say till it thaws.
Yes, it is.
But there's going to be some damage for sure.
But there's going to be some damage, and the sooner we get that turned in, you guys know the state better than I do. But the sooner we can get that turned in, the better shape we're going to be in. If FEMA steps in, probably we're going to get that 75% reimbursement a lot sooner than what we would if it was just the state.
Oh, yeah.
And commissioners, any fuel expense y'all have,
Right.
any overtime expense y'all have, make sure you keep that, because that's expenses that we need to turn in. So any fuel, and I look at it a little differently, like your hands. Since the courthouse is closed, we've talked about comp time issues with hands that are working. That's expenses that need to be turned in, because that's expenses that will be reimbursed at 75%. So that is very important that we keep track of that for reimbursement for the county.
Probably even blading snow off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll be working Friday and Saturday.
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't
no.
work last Friday and Saturday, but we've tried to rotate the hands so it wouldn't build up so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's miserable right now.
It is.
And I've probably got 15 cases of water, bottled water, if y'all want it,
Just
I'll bring it to you.
no. Keep
We-
that out there right now.
Yeah, you hang on to that. If we get in a real bind,
Yeah.
we may be calling it. But
Reason
we've
I
got quite a bit coming.
I bought that at Sam's back, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, because we could get it so cheap, you know, and then 40 bottles to the case of beer, and it's a lot cheaper.
Keep
here.
that for your hands right now,
Well,
because we don't know what. I mean, we don't know. And
Yeah,
if you have any hands
yeah,
that need a shower or need something,
yeah.
I've got an account set up. It's taken care of. Just send them to Twin Lakes to take a bath. I mean, if they're going to be out working, they deserve to take a hot shower. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the little things that we can offer them. So Twin Lakes is ready. All they got to do is say they work for the county. I've got the account set up, and at the end of this thing, I'm gonna total it up, and take care of it. But
About that trailer, I just got a question about that. What kind of a unit do you use to pull a trailer like this?
well, so we have our 1-ton van that we'll use to pull it. We
So
got
it's just a bumper pull.
the bumper pull trailer, yeah. And we've got the 1-ton van that was donated by Elsie that we use for inmate transports, and that 1-ton van will pull it, and that's what we'll pull it with. And our plan is pull it somewhere stage. You know, say we're going to be here from 1 to 3, and then we're going to be here from 3 to 5, and just stage at different places. The issue
That's drinking water.
it'll be able. Well, the tank I've found is actual. If we can find
If we
somewhere to
can get
fill
the
it,
water to fill it.
if we can find the water to
Well,
fill
that's gonna
it, it'll
my
be
next
for drinking.
question. Where you gonna
If
fill it?
not, we're going to come to Stigler and use water hydrants for flushing and stuff like that. But it can be used for drinking. I mean, if we can find drinking water to put in it, you can drink that. The tank is eligible to have that grade. It's a FDA approved tank.
But other than that, you can fill up out of wells for your fire truck so people can have water.
Yes.
Well, we have fire hydrants like here in town. We can bring fire trucks in out by the Votech. I talked to Brian. He said there was at least one of those that's still not froze up.
So is this right here? This is taking the cap off the 15,000.
Yeah, but it's doing that, but it's also doing more than that. It's declaring our county an emergency, so we're able to get FEMA fund. We're able to get anything
Right.
at that
It
point.
opens us up for reimbursement for whatever we spend or you guys spend on roads later on.
Like Commissioner Doak said, they did it because they went out and bought 30 sanders. They didn't have any sanders, so they went out, I guess, bumper pull. I don't know what kind of sand, but they had to go buy sanders. And he said, we're hoping to get reimbursed. He said, but if not, we had to have them. I mean,
Right.
so that's why. And then he said, Jeff Smith, which is their emergency manager.
That may be something you guys might look at too. I mean, I know you've got those little salt dogs or whatever you
Yeah.
put on your.
I got 2 of those, but we tried to buy one the other day. We called Muskogee, Tulsa, Fort Smith, Atwoods, and all
With
that.
them
and it
sliding
had
back
it.
on the truck.
But we did get our money if you need anything.
They're pretty handy with
I
that fine
get salt, and I've got about
You need
2 tons of salt.
and sand.
That we gathered up, and McAllister, at the Vicksburg McAllister commissioner, he told me that he had some extra if I needed it, so. We're gonna try to, get in here in a minute, but if you got some parking lots, we tried to get the other day, the hospital and all that stuff. But if anybody calls and it's something like that, I'll come up salt.
Well,
What this does when we declare a state of emergency, you guys sign that. We'll scan it in and send it into the state OEM, and that puts us on record with them also, so that if anything happens, say we need water. I mean, that's what we're looking at right now. We can put in a request, but when we're under a state of emergency, that kind of bumps us up on the list. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And the other thing, I think, from what I understood, talking to Chris, talking to Ken, talking to folks that's been through some of these deals, is that if we get in a state of emergency and then the governor's already declared it's Oklahoma state of emergency, that our citizens that have major issues with pipes breaking,
Right.
food law, I mean anything they've had that they can show directly if reflected to this, they'll be eligible for reimbursements too.
Right.
So it does more. It helps our people as well.
Just like on the floods.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, it could be buying a generator, if we got power down or whatever, they can get reimbursed from that.
I make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I second it. But, yeah, I mean, but
Larry
I bought
Watson?
that
Yes.
water bag
Billy
just
Cloud?
because it's cheap, yes.
Barton Perry.
yes.
I don't think everybody's square, so.
Before you leave, we scan that email out to Chris, so we can get that sent off.
It's body cause it's cheap, we're just gonna put that sign on what have you.
Yeah.
Y'all can have it.
Commissioners, we're gonna roll. We're gonna go out Tomahawk Way. There's a big hole in the middle of the road, allegedly, it's full of water. It's not frozen, so we're gonna go see if we can check that and see if that's something we can get the water. Seems like what we've been doing is, and we're helping the water departments basically right now. Our office.
Where's that? I cleaned one off the road last night at Daniel Stansel's, took skid steer down there and
It's, when you turn there at Longhorn Corner, going back north, that next county road that goes back to the west,
there was
right
not
there.
that much ice around the pool last night. And Jerry Terrell called and I went and cleaned it off my skid steer. I don't know why it's there, but it looks, something's.
And you know, it stays wet there. I don't know if that's a water break or if that's, I know they pump a lot of water out of that rock quarry up the road, but they ain't pumping water right now.
I'd like a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Awesome. Y'all need anything from me, I have to call.
All right.